Hey guys, Malzo here with another demo review recap. This time of Rush. I almost forgot to do this, to be honest. I did his third demo review while he was playing in the major, and I was so caught up doing, rifling out videos during the major and shit like that. I totally forgot that was 3 demo reviews that I did from Rush. So usually after the third demo review of every player, I like to do like a recap on kind of what I saw during the 3 demos and figure out if it was above average in weird clips, that we see compared to other players. And for Rush, it definitely was, which is kind of unfortunate, I guess. Like I just did the 3 demo review recap of Stewie not long ago, and he was pretty far above average in terms of clips too. So I guess that makes it 2 in a row for me. But Stewie and Rush really stand out compared to other players. When I went through his demos, I found a lot of stuff. And he's also the owner of, some of those clips where you see just one of some clips is enough to say, okay, there's a really good fucking chance this guy's cheating. And I'd say he's got one of the worst clips in recent memory for sure. On overpass in bathrooms, match point, they're about to lose the game. They're down 15-11 or something against FaZe. And it was the major qualifier. It was the Swiss system, so they weren't going to be eliminated that game or anything. That would have made it even worse. But it was a very important game, Every game in the Swiss system is pretty important. They were down match point, and he actually had a few things in that round that looked pretty bad. Here's the fucking nastiest aim lock in recent memory for me, at least. This is bad. So some people thought he was trolling or something like that. Like if he's trolling 15-11 in a 2v4, hats off to him, but fuck off. I don't think he's trolling. Yeah, there's a pretty low chance that he's trolling. And this clip right here actually happened the same round. So I mean, it was just too much and too often for Rush. This cache demo that I'm working through right here was against Cloud9, and it was like the never-ending demo. There were a lot of moments where it was like, okay, that's not the worst, the worst thing that could happen right here. Like, he doesn't get anywhere close to the guy, but it's one of those situations like, okay, well, if I tap my aim key and I let it go before it gets to him, that's exactly what it would look like. And he's also in a 1v1, doesn't really know where Skadoodle is, and Skadoodle walked the entire time and didn't make any noise. So it's just kind of weird, to have your crosshair in the middle of nowhere in a 1v1 when you're not sure. Skadoodle could have peeked checkers on him. He didn't know. Anyways, some of the clips I'm going through really don't look like much. As always, take a look at the full demo review. I talk about all the clips a lot more in depth, but some of them are a mix of, things I actually don't think are anything, and some of the clips I do think are really bad, but I put in some that I don't think is necessarily cheating, but there are some clips that were talked about, in Vaxox and other areas where people thought, hey, this is a really bad clip, so I put those clips in there too. But if you're wondering about a certain clip in this rundown, take a look at the full demo review that I did for each video. I talk a lot more in depth of kind of what I think is happening in each clip. There was one pretty noteworthy thing too to bring up with Rush. Was his first 2 demos were fucking ridiculous. Like there was shit like back to back to back, like fucking round after round, things that looked weird. Maybe one at a time or once per couple games. Some of those clips wouldn't be a big deal, but it's happening a lot, man. However, when I got to the major demo of them, it was super clean. There was basically nothing in it. I'm going through the clips for it now. You can see they're pretty weak clips in my opinion. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I thought overall the major was pretty clean. It's still a small sample size. It's only 3 demos, so I'm not going to say 100% conclusively they figured something out at the majors to stop people from cheating, but I can say that Rush's first 2 demos that I looked at were really weird, and they did look very sketchy. It really looked like he was getting some software help in some situations. And then the third demo, there was absolutely nothing. So is that a coincidence? It definitely could be. Like I said, it's a very small sample size. Ultimately, it's only 3 demos that I'm looking at, and maybe there's other very clean demos of Rush out there. at lands where it would have been easy to get cheats in or something like that. That's possible, but looking at 3 demos is still better than just one, and looking at 1 demo is better than looking at just a 30-second Twitch clip, right? So there were a lot of situations in the 3 demos that I couldn't explain or had to really jump through hoops to try and explain. And yeah, I really thought he was above average in shady clips in the 3 demos. As for what was going on at the major, I really hope Valve figured something out. That's definitely possible. There were some tweets from players saying that they weren't allowed to warm up on community servers, and they had to warm up in the Valve deathmatch servers, and maybe that had something to do with it. But it would be nice if Valve was working on stuff like that. I would prefer if they didn't do it. Like, I guess I understand why they have to be so behind the scenes with it, but it would be nice if they announced some stuff to try and restore viewer confidence. I was kind of thinking about that today, how it's weird when, Flusha was cheating, everybody thought he was fucking cheating. A lot of the pros thought he was cheating. And then time goes on. Tournament organizers really did nothing to reinstall confidence in their viewers. They really didn't do anything. They didn't say, hey, we're not going to let them use their mice anymore. Hey, we're going to change their Steam accounts, or, do all these preventative measures, even if they can't catch the software in his mouse, or in his, wherever it is, right? His mouse fucking Steam account, wherever he's getting it from. It would have been nice if they did something to try and at least boost the confidence of the viewer. And I don't know. I do understand why Valve is working behind the scenes on this security stuff. At least that's what I speculate is going on. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'll talk to somebody and they'll be like, yeah, Valve did nothing at the major security-wise. And I guess I'll be proven wrong. But I'm still confident that there's fucking something going on behind the scenes security-wise to try and help things out. And the major did, give me a little bit more confidence that maybe they are working on things. Maybe we'll see in upcoming tournaments, in ESL and DreamHack tournaments, maybe they won't allow their players on any community servers for deathmatching or whatever, and they're going to be strictly only given the Valve deathmatch servers. That would be interesting. If other tournament organizers follow suit with that, then I bet you there is something to that security-wise. But anyways, back to Rush. I really, it kind of bums me out a little bit. Like, I really am, like, the biggest NA fanboy, but this is the second demo I did. Last one was Stewie, this one of Rush, where it really looks like something's going on here. Like, I went over, like, I don't know, it's weird, right? I went over the Kirby demo. The guy won the fucking major, and there was nothing in it, in my opinion. A lot of people argued about, a lot of people's definition of a fucking aim lock is a lot more loose than mine. And a lot more people will call out shit a lot quicker than me as well. So, I was just reading through the comments on the Kirby one, and a lot of people seem to think that, he was cheating or whatever. But, fuck, I don't know. Maybe he was, but it certainly wasn't obvious in the demo. As opposed to when I watch Rush, it really looks like, when I watch the demo, it's like, holy fuck, there is something going on. It's not like, we don't have to fully fucking make up an entire scenario in our head to think that this guy's cheating, I often get a lot of comments when I say it's a clean demo. People will say, you must be using sound ESP. Well, you're just purely making that up though. Like, you could say that about anyone. You don't, like, I only want to comment on what I see in the demo, right? I don't want to, I know I sometimes bring it up, but I really do try and resist the amount of times where I say, hey, it must be sound ESP, or hey, it must be fucking whatever, like, I'm well aware that there's things that are 100% undetectable in the demo. There's a lot of ways to get information on people in the map and shit like that, and 100 people could watch the demo, they'll never see shit. However, I'm not gonna fucking start accusing everybody of that when they have a clean demo. I'm not gonna say they have sound ESP, whatever, fuck. However, when people have a video or a demo like Rush over 3 demos, I will start accusing a little bit more. So that's kind of where that's where I really draw the line in the sand. It's it's when I look at these demos, do I feel like something's going on? In Rush's case, I do. And I could be wrong. That's for sure. You know, after all, this is all speculation on my part. This is all just my opinion, right? And I could be totally wrong about Rush, and I could totally be wrong about Kirby or any other player. But when I watched these demos and kind of went through them, I felt there was something going on. So that's my 2 cents, guys. And anyways, that wraps up another 3 demo review series for Rush. I don't know when they play next. You know, they got a new member. They got Hiko now. That is gonna be interesting. I really thought, like, I don't know, if I was fucking OpTic, I would just get someone else. Fucking get Daps. You know, like, I think Hiko's glory days are behind him a little bit. I probably would have got Daps instead of Hiko, to be honest. But that's the way it goes, and that's what fucking OpTic have to work with now. Who knows? Maybe they'll change it. I don't know. Fuck. All right, guys. Hope you liked the video. I'll see you next time. Bye.